base.
Amen to that. Good evening, fight fans. Welcome to another great episode of Headkicks and Haymakers. I'm your boy Bodkins, and of course, with me as always is Mr. Bobby Blunts. Oh man, Bobby, we got a lot to get into tonight. Bobby, this time next week we will be talking and previewing the UFC. Freedom 250, the White House card, whatever the hell you want to call it. So we are, 1 week away from that. I know you're super excited, but we got to talk about, UFC.
Like calling Kyle Baharo my favorite fighter.
Hey, speaking of that, before we get it, did you see that Trump said they might leave the structure up? He likes it. We are living in.
I literally thought you were going to be like, did you see that Trump was going to have Kyle Baharo as his personal guest?
No.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. He says a lot of things, so I try not to get too hung up on the detail. You just kind of got to wait for it to move,
Right. I don't believe it, but, it would be on pace, you know what I mean, on par as far as everything else. But yeah, that's next week. Let's get into UFC McCall, and Song Yadong takes care of business in the second round. Bobby, we both had Song winning this fight. We both picked him to win, but we both kind of thought it'd be a decision. We thought Figgy would kind of be a tough out, and it turned out it wasn't a tough out. Song chokes him out in the second round, and it advances. Here's a double question. Is Song? I don't want to say he's like a title contender yet, but that's puts him kind of right where he was. I don't really know how much he's lost to like those top tier guys, the top, as far as like the Umars, the Jans, the O'Malley's, and the Sandhagens. So he's got some work to do, and that's kind of what's left for him. And then I think we've seen the best days of in the rearview mirror for Davison Figueiredo.
I'm sorry to tell you, but if you don't think the UFC is going to use him to headline another main event on a side feed card, you are sadly mistaken, my friend.
I didn't say that they weren't. I'm just saying we've seen his best days. His best days are behind him.
Oh, yeah. But I think at the same time, we kind of pointed that last week as well.
Yeah, and just confirmed what we already knew.
The fight started out kind of very slow in that first round. Both guys were just throwing a bunch of feints and stuff, feeling each other out. And basically in the second round, Figgy gave up his neck and Song was able to capitalize. I would say with China had a really rough night on that card. So at that point at the main event, the atmosphere was a little quiet, and it absolutely erupted when he sunk that choke in and he got it. Like the whole place just blew up. So
they needed it. No Chinese fighter won all the whole damn night. So at least he saved the day.
Brutal for sure. And but that was I don't want to call it a fight that really had no purpose, but the main purpose of it to me was to put Song over in his home country there. And it succeeded in that aspect. I'm sure you're going to ask me what's next for Song. I have no idea. I mean, practically everyone is booked. I think
But
it might be reason why they matched him up with Figgy in the first place, honestly, because, you got a little bit of a log jam at the top, and, we got some other fights coming up, so maybe you can fight one of the winners of those. But I didn't really learn much from him in this moment, but it was good to see him, get back on track and get the victory.
yeah, I mean, you mentioned everybody's booked, but the guys ahead of him are booked, but they're booked relatively close, right? Like, but the thing of it is, like I said, Bobby, he's lost to all these top guys. Like, he's lost to the champion. He lost to Sean O'Malley. I don't think he's fought Umar.
He hasn't fought Umar, and he did lose to Sean, even though
and he
you
lost
can
to
make
Corey, and he's lost to Corey. Now that was a while ago, and Corey is fighting in next month against Mario Batista. Maybe he gets the winner of that.
Yeah, I got a preference that's more at a left field, but
Okay.
I kind of go back to that the Henry Cejudo no contest with Song,
Mm-hmm.
and Song was doing well in that, but Henry was still having his moments. And I know it's not the same fighting style at all, but why don't you match him up with the guy that was able to take Cejudo out? Like, let's do Song versus Peyton Talbot.
Yeah, we haven't. Peyton Talbot's about the only guy that's not booked in the bantamweight division, right? Like, where's he been? That's kind of the question mark. Like, you kind of look at it, and we'll just, we got to kind of link them here all together while we're talking to about the bantamweight. Like, Umar is fighting David Martinez, like the number 9 guy. Or was it number 9? Is it David Martinez? The rankings aren't even.
I think he's
number
10.
8.
Yeah,
He's
he's
8
10, I
now.
believe.
He's 8 now. I passed him. Was ranked 9 and then the rankings came out yesterday. Figgy's now 9. Martinez 8. So it's just like, well, if you look at the rankings, there's not anybody, in the top 10. All the top 10 guys are ranked, other than like Cheeto Vera and Peyton Talbot. Like, they're 11. So like, I don't hate that. Like, go ahead and give Peyton Talbot even bigger boost to young fighters. 2 guys, 2 really. I mean, Song's not even 30 yet, so that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I'm sure Song will prefer someone like more ranked. I mean, obviously he was calling for a title shot in the post-fight interview, and there's no way he's there, obviously, because I mean, like you said, he's lost to the guys at the top there. And I do want to say, since you mentioned it, absolutely credit to Umar for taking that fight. Like, I see a lot of people kind of trying to give him the negative angle, saying he's fighting a lower ranked guy.
Who the hell is he supposed to fight? Everybody's matched
exactly. Up. And to me, it's clear he's not sitting on his number, and he's defending it, and he's fighting. So, like, what do these people want? Like, I wish we could get more people like Umar that's, willing to, fight for their spot. So
it's his fault that everybody else is matched up. We know Merab and Peter Yan is next, maybe he gets the winner of that. Maybe he would be in line for the title shot after that, after, 3 straight wins after losing the title to Merab. And then you have Sean and Ayman Zahabi next Sunday. Then you have Corey, like we just mentioned, Corey and Mario Batista, an International Fight Week. That's everybody. That's the top 10 right there.
Yeah, and a lot of that is definitely going to get sorted out in the coming weeks. So,
right.
I'm sure they'll find it. I just, I kind of wonder, like, where the UFC like tries to go matchmaking him and stuff. Are they gonna have him go to the top, or are they gonna maybe have him fight one of these incoming guys that's trying to get a ranking? And I know he's obviously like with Faber and stuff, but I don't think that really pulls any sway as far as the matchmaking and stuff goes. So I just be kind of interested to see where they actually decide to book him next. Because the thing that would make the most sense would be like if Zahabi beat O'Malley, that would be probably the easiest one to do.
Then you do Song versus Zahabi. Well, Zahabi would be like on a 9-fight winning streak, and you could probably say he's next after Merab at that point in time.
You definitely could. So yeah, another thing that just makes it kind of murky. It's a good problem to have in a division that, for the most part, is fairly active.
Even if Zahabi loses, you could say you could do Song versus Zahabi if that's the case.
Mm-hmm. And yeah,
I like if Mario loses, or if Mario beats Sandhagen, I would like to see Mario and Song win. Song.
Yeah, I mean, I'd take that as well, but
because Mario was on the run and then he lost to Umar. And now he's getting Song. Now he's gotten Song again. So, or now he's got Sandhagen again.
Yeah, I mean that I don't know. The main reason I initially suggested Peyton is I do like the matchup. I think we would kind of learn a lot from it on both guys, because I would assume Song would be a pretty decent favorite in that. But Peyton continues to develop, and I don't know how long you can ice him and not get him a fight. So
right, same.
I wouldn't expect the UFC. Like they don't seem too protective with the matchmaking with him as well. So I think that's a perfect fight as long as Song is willing to fight a not ranked guy, because he's not ranked, right? He's not in the top 15.
Who's that?
Peyton.
Yeah, no, Peyton's 11.
Okay, well then in that case, there's absolutely no excuse not to do this fight if he has a ranking.
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense. So I said I like it because Peyton's 11, and so he's like one of the few guys in the top 10 it's not booked. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's time to book him. Song took 0 damage in that fight, so And
I think, like I said, I know Figgy's. I don't know what his contract situation, but I think his best days are behind him. You could even do Figgy versus Peyton or Figgy versus Rojas Jr. or somebody like that.
How did we not mention Song versus Cheeto? Did we just blank on that? That just came in my mind.
I think they've already fought. Let me look.
Yeah, wouldn't shock me at all.
And Cheeto's on like a 4-fight losing streak, Bobby.
Yeah, true. And like, what do you do with Figgy? That's another one. I got no clue. Like for example, I'm sure we'll get to him in a bit, but Kaya Sakura, people are saying, hey, why don't you do Figgy? As much trouble as Figgy has had recently, I'm not really trying to book Kai in something like that yet. I'd prefer to kind of give him a few more lower on the totem pole and like work him in. So I just think the UFC at this point is going to use Figgy as a former champion name to book on these site fee cards to be a co-main or a main event. Right. I just don't really know what opponent that will really materialize, but I think that's how they've been booking him, and I don't see any reason why they wouldn't continue that.
Figgy beat. Did you say? Oh, we were talking about Cheeto in Song, but yeah, Figgy's since moving up to bantamweight, he's lost 4 out of 5 fights. So, I'd take that back. He did beat. He did have 3 wins early on in bantamweight. He beat Rob Font, Corey Garbrandt, and Cheeto, but since then he's lost 4 out of his last 5.
And to be fair, if he was still at 125, I think he still would have most likely lost his 4 out of his last 5.
Agreed.
Agreed. Though 135 is deep, you got a lot of guys that are ascending at the flyweight division, and I think those are like even more terrible matchups for him. So that's why I'm not really sure what to do with him. I know the UFC will figure it out, but I think they're just going to kind of book him as a former champion name. And, I don't want to say I was like never sold on him because he gave us great fights at flyweight, but it was also at a time where the flyweight division had no depth. And
well, I mean, he had that run against like him and Moreno fought like 4 times in a row. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and when he moved up to 135, there were a lot of people that had really high hopes that he could compete for a title, and I never really saw that. I just thought, he was moving up because he's getting a little older. He might be able to win some fights there, but that's another division that at the top is pretty lethal. So I kind of think Figgy is like right where I more or less expected him to be with getting this older. So I'm sure we'll get some more fights out of him. He always does, put it out there. Like he could have just as easily thrown feints the entire time and not tried anything. So,
real quick, Cheeto and Song did fight. Cheeto Song beat Cheeto by decision back. This was way back 6 years ago in 2020. But Song, for the most part, he only loses, his last 3 losses are to Corey Sandhagen, Peter Yan, and Sean O'Malley. He's only losing to the elite of the elite.
Yeah, and he definitely still has time in his career to put himself in title.
Yeah, he's only 28 years old. He's only 28.
He's going to continue to get better. I just don't know if that's going to evolve in the next year. But they're basically going to have to give him one of those top guys. But at the same time, there's nothing wrong taking a fight with Peyton Talbot and getting better in that fight.
Right.
So I could really see it either way with it. We know they're not going to just hold him off for the next China card like they would for Sergey or someone like that. He'll definitely probably be taking another fight in Vegas. He turns around pretty quickly.
Yeah, and he lives stateside, so it's not, you know what I mean? He trains, obviously, like you said, Team Alpha Male and everything else. I don't know if is he a type, like I said, that you were he's when I made the thumbnail, you said it's like waiting at the deli for number 58 as a title contender. But what I mean by that is his title hopes aren't over. You know what I mean? They're still very much alive. He still has, really the heart of his career to go, right? Where I think Figgy is his best days are in the rearview mirror.
Yeah, I mean, most likely Song will be around long after Marab and Yan would be around.
Right.
So, things could open up very quickly. So, I've always enjoyed his body of work. He's a fun guy to watch.
He is.
But
brings it, right? Is always I've never seen him in a boring fight. He's always
And you can tell that win meant a lot to him, getting that hometown win. He immediately tried to hop the cage and they had to keep him off from going. But that was probably, the best moment on the card because the rest of that card was rough for the hometown crowd.
Yeah. Speaking of being rough for the hometown card, that would be the co-main event where Zhang Mingyang, he doesn't get out of the first round very often. He didn't get out of the first round this time as he got knocked out by Alonzo Minifield. Minifield comes in and puts it on Zhang. There's really not much to say. I don't think Zhang's very good. And, Minifield is what Minifield is.
It was brutal because you knew it was more or less going to be a car crash the way the matchup was set up. Right. But when Zhang hurt him and just seemed to make the conscious decision not to follow up, that was very alarming. And then obviously Metafield started landing some shots. When they clinched, he was completely gassed. Zhang was gassed by the middle of the first round, and the optics of that just did not look good. I knew he had his success in the road to UFC and stuff, but I really, don't know how much longer he's going to be around unless they just keep him around to book him for these hometown cards. Because
agreed, he does not look like a UFC caliber fighter at this point.
He just looks like he needs a lot of time And I don't know if you're going to, as decimated as that division is, I don't know if you're going to be able to develop that here. So, you know, there's still some winnable fights for him in this division because of that. But just all the optics in that fight did not look good for as long as it lasted. And, you know, good for Metafield, because I did not like his chances in this one. I thought Zhang would bounce back. And I think that win meant a hell of a lot to Metafield. I mean, the way he was cheering in the cage and stuff, I mean, I don't think anyone had a more like meaningful win other than Song, like the way they were celebrating it in the octagon. And he seemed to pretty much know the game plan was, you know, work this guy's gas tank, just stand there and trade, and you're the tougher guy. And they were absolutely right about that. So I still really don't know what you do with Metafield. I'm sure he'll turn around sooner rather than later, but I don't really have a name unless you got one.
No, I don't have a name either. I just think he's, you know, he'll be kind of in these fights. You know, he's not like a guy that he to me looks like a guy that always be kind of in that 15 to like 620 range, right? Like maybe one day he'll get a number ranked, but once that step up in competition, now it is light heavyweight, so the competition's not as deep. It's not a deep pool as we know, but like you don't ever see him cracking like the top 5 and being, you know, a serious contender.
Yeah, I could still see him getting another win streak going though. Like it wouldn't shock me at all if he won, you know, another 3 in a row. He was doing pretty good until he took some losses, but yeah, it was a fun fight for as long as it lasted, you know, just some straight up violence. What else can you say?
Right. Speaking of violence, I think we got the return of in violence of Sergey Pavlovich. I mean, he absolutely just goes in there and scorches Taliesin Teixeira. Like I think I went to like go take a piss real quick, and then by the time I was cooking my pancakes actually, Bobby, and I was out there grilling. I walked back in, and fucking the fight was over. So before I could even sit down.
Teixeira is just so bad, man. I can't
shows you what
believe
the heavyweight division is. Yeah.
Well, it was just shocking his game plan. Like, did he not realize he was fighting a power puncher? I don't know if you know Sergey's last few fights going to decision. Like he overlooked
that. Threw him off. That threw him off. He only watched the last 2, Bobby. He didn't watch when Sergey was fucking killing everybody.
Apparently not, because you know if you have a game plan like that, that's about the only way it can go. And you know, credit to Sergey for getting done. Second one getting done in China, and you know you got to give some credit to Waldo Cortez, because like even he had the wherewithal to be like, yeah, I can't just stand there and trade with this guy. He will shut my lights out. You know, so but yeah, quick work for Sergey. I saw he called out Hokit, told Hokit to handle his business, and then they could fight in China. And perfect Josh Hokit response saying "fuck China." Like I don't know if that was intentional to cue him up like that, but you kind of knew that's the result that would happen. But
that's the fight, right? Like that's the fight. Like if Hokit wins, him and Sergey.
You would think so, but at the same time, with not knowing the status of Aspinall, I think it is too easy math for them to try to squeeze a interim defense out with, especially with what Hokit's doing at the presser with Potent. But you know, logically and numerically, yes, that's definitely what I think they should do. Because I said I would still have the appetite to watch him versus Waldo, but you know. Sergey is the one on the win streak, so I mean, I'd be fine with that.
Right. I mean, Waldo. Oh, do Waldo and Hokit is what you're saying?
Yeah, like when Waldo initially dropped out to Volkov, I was like, I'd still have the appetite to see that versus Hokit, but you know, now Sergey wants to get in the mix. I'd be completely fine with that as well.
Yeah, and I don't know, maybe do a rematch with him and Volkov. Like that's it for Sergey. Like unless he takes. the loser like Surreal gone. Like if Surreal gets knocked out by Alex,
and they had some like weird beef after that fight. I can't remember what happened with Sergey.
Oh, between yeah, they
you
did.
like
Yeah,
shoved him afterwards, and
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I normally don't subscribe to heavyweight rematches, but I think you could do worse.
Yeah, I mean, it's either that or him and gone.
Yeah,
but I would prefer the Hokit fight first.
Yeah, no,
win or lose. I don't care if Derek Lewis wins. Just do Hokit regardless. Hokit and Pavlovich regardless.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They all kind of fit the same at heavyweight, but as far as Sergey goes, you know, that's more of the Sergey we've gotten used to, and I think that reminded a lot of people, like, oh yeah, this dude is dangerous as fuck. He has, you know, power punching hands.
Right, that's the Sergey we saw before the Tom Aspinall fight. Like, I hope he gets back to this Sergey where he's just fucking folks up in 30 seconds and not, you know, putting people's lights out.
Yeah, I mean, you basically get paid the same. Why do 10 times the work?
Right. That's the fight that, yeah, that's, I hope that's what we, I hope he kind of gets back to that. Bobby, you mentioned, I thought Kai Asakura, absolutely just smoked Cameron Sutherman as well. You know, this now he has entered the bantamweight. This is kind of where he belongs, is at bantamweight. I know you said you kind of want to do a slow bird. This is a guy that fought for the title at flyweight in his debut. Why not just go ahead and give him a number next?
Because he fought for the flyweight title in his debut, and he absolutely should not have. And it basically derailed his UFC run. So, yeah, I would use the opposite angle of that argument.
Well, why not get it right back on the track by giving him a number 15?
As long as that number 15 doesn't have wrestling or jiu-jitsu, I'm in. But most likely they do.
Number 15 is Basharat.
Yeah, and no way.
Number 14 is Barcelos.
Yeah, I do not think I need to see him fighting Orenkai yet. It was a great win. The performance he definitely needed to have and was hoping to have. Brutal knockout for Smotherman. And I'm not trying to say this as a joke, but it literally reminded me of him passing out on the scale. I'll
make the joke. It was that I ain't seen him fall down that hard since he, Aspinall said it's not that hard since not Aspinall, but
Bisping said it's not that hard
to make weight.
Yeah, he was out for a cool minute.
Oh yeah,
and Asakura has had fights at bantamweight before. You definitely see a lot more of his power there. So I do think that is the move for him to stay there. But there are a lot of good guys in that division that don't have a number by their name. I would prefer us to match him up with him instead of
what about him and Ewing? I know Ewing, I think, has got a match booked already, though.
Yeah, that's another tough. Yeah, I mean, I think where I would prefer a little bit more developmental, and I know he's had plenty of fights in Ryzen, so I'm not saying he's not experienced, but the UFC has thrown him to the Wolves twice. I mean, granted, his last loss, you could say that was just maybe more on him than the brutal matchmaking, but I don't know. I'd much rather them use a little bit more style-friendly matchmaking with him to get some Kaya Asakura fights like that. Because it definitely seemed like the UFC understood the assignment in booking this match with Smotherman. So I would expect them to do more of that to get the result that we saw.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Do you feel like it was a little bit too quick of a turnaround from Smotherman too? Maybe like that, the weight where he fell was just not even I felt like 2 months ago.
It could always be in the back of my mind, but truthfully, I don't think it would have made a difference if that scenario never happened. I think the fight would have played out the same way. And Smotherman did mention, and take this for what it is, but he mentioned that feigning had nothing to do with the cutting. Now, maybe he's just saying that, but I always thought it was like something else, which explained why it was such a quick turnaround time after he pulled out of that last fight.
Yeah.
But I don't think it really would have made too much of a difference with like how Smotherman fights and stuff. Like we would have gotten that same outcome either way, I think.
Yeah, I probably tend to agree with you. I just wanted to know if I just didn't know if that maybe was affected, but you're right. It was kind of a quick turnaround, so maybe that had nothing to do with one or the other. Just kind of finish out the main card here. Jake Matthews dominates Carlston Harris. I thought really just if he just probably should have finished him, just a couple of times had opportunities instead of going to the ground with him, he just would have let him stand up because he was piecing him up on the in the stand-up game. And the opening contest there is some of Marjay versus Alex Perez, for Alex Perez throwing up in the bucket after getting kicked in the dick.
Why did you pair those two? Jesus Christ. Yeah, I can't believe I forgot about that until I'm like, oh yeah, the bucket.
What do you mean why I paired them? I was just rounding out the fucking top of the end of the card, Bobby.
Okay, to round out and talk about another Australian that actually impressed me, Cody Haddon had the most memorable and impressive performance on that card to me. And, that could not have went better for him. And I'm really excited to see what the UFC does with him going forward. He's pretty young, so I think we got a lot of potential there. The Alex Perez thing was just rough, especially like if you look throughout his career, that dude has had more fight cancellations than almost any fighter. A lot of them being on his opponent's side and stuff. So to actually go to Macau, make weight, go through all those motions, to just get clipped like that and have to ask for a bucket, that is brutal. And even more just comical that his opponent was trying to brush it off because the fight ended. And, I was kind of wondering where the referee was going to go with that, if he was going to call it a DQ or if they were just going to rule it a no contest. I mean, obviously taking 2 points would have done nothing if they were calling the fight off, but I think in the end, they probably got it right in ruling the no contest. Just kind of a unfortunate thing for Perez to having to go through a whole camp just to get, clipped in the pills like that. And last one, unless you had something for that.
No, go ahead.
Got to give a shout out to Angela Hill. They brought that chicken from one to fighter, Jing Yan, I think. And Angela Hill just completely 30-27, insane output and pace. Probably some of the best work I've seen from her at 41. So
she is the Jim Miller of the female of the females. Just still fucking going and still winning fights. Yeah.
That's a great comp because that's pretty much what she did. And Jing Yang was definitely like playing to the crowd and trying to be elusive and stuff. And it just wasn't working at all. Like there was not one moment in that fight that Angela was slowing down. So, great win by her.
Yeah. Let's move to some just news and notes real quick, Bobby. Our guy Melky Costa is moving from featherweight up to lightweight. So after the loss to Arnold Allen, decides, hey, I can't make the weight no more. Going to move to lightweight. I don't hate it. Hopefully that hopefully it works out for him, and we see him fight sooner at lightweight.
Yeah, when I saw the amount of weight he was cutting, I could not believe he had been this active. Right. And it almost like puts in the back of my mind, like, man, did that last weight cut just completely kill him with all the other ones he was doing. I mean, granted, Allen was the better man that night and 50-45'd him. So, I mean, he deserves all the credit. But I also think it's, the best move to, that would give him a lot more energy, not having to cut that much. And I think there are a lot of, good matchups that they could do at 55 for him. So I'll absolutely be looking forward to that. Off the top of my head, what they give him, I mean, that's kind of a whole nother question. But, I mean, you could do a lot with, like, the winner, like Chandler Roofy.
You want to feed him to the rankings right now? Why not just do something like?
I think he's absolutely ready because he was already having a lot of success in what I would deem a better division as a whole. And
here's the guy that I would start him out with first, Bobby Green.
That'd be a fun fight. I mean,
like Bobby's not ranked, but are Drew Dober-esque, like one of those, like one of those two guys that they're not ranked, but always game. You know what I mean? If there's rankings to 20, they'd probably be like, fucking 16 and 17. You know what I mean? Or somewhere around there.
Yeah. And extremely kind of fan-friendly matchmaking as well.
Right.
So, and yeah, both of those have kind of the ring of something that would like be on a numbered card, like main card and stuff. So
yeah,
I wouldn't hate them going that route as well. But I definitely do think he is ready to compete with the top 15 if they chose to do that too.
Yeah, I just like to give him see how he looks there first, and I think somebody like Bobby Green or Drew Dober would be more fit, would be perfect. I think one of the biggest notes of Bobby is this past week. I don't want to say it didn't get a lot of traction, but maybe it did a little bit. But Eddie Hearn was on an interview. It really wasn't like he was pleading, but was just kind of making the comment, like, and not really like formally asking. I didn't feel like, but just like, I'd ask Dana White to fucking get Tom Aspinall out of his contract because his contract is criminally underrated. It's one of the worst he's ever seen. I think the chances of that happening are zilch. That USC is not going to let Tom go, especially right now, because I mean, if they did, Francis versus fucking Tom Aspinall on Netflix would do buku numbers.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird because I understand Eddie's point. I agree with him in Aspinall being criminally underpaid, but
they're all criminally underpaid for the most part.
Yeah, but I absolutely hated how the message was delivered. Now, when I watched the actual clip, opposed to just reading the transcript, it didn't come off as bad when I read it.
Right. That's the same. When I listened to the context of how the conversation went, I didn't come across as like, oh, he's being like super serious at this point in time.
Yeah, but my biggest concern with this is that is kind of almost alluding to the fact that Aspinall is ready and waiting for a fight. And my understanding, at least, is we are very far off from that. And, like even I saw the other interview that got picked up by Aspinall where he's being interviewed and they're asking him, why are they not going to have you, cage side at the White House to promote you fighting the winner? And though I get the question, I kind of go back to the same thing. Have they been given any assurances, being the UFC or timeline, of when he might be returning? I don't understand why you would pigeonhole yourself into kind of being forced to make that fight and revealing it early when we literally have no idea when he's coming back,
Right, we don't even know if it's going to, at this point in time, we don't know if it's going to be this year.
Yeah, and so when he's talking about wanting to release him from his contract, like, to me, that insinuates that he's ready. And I do wonder if the UFC is going to look at it that way. Like, well, to our knowledge, you weren't medically cleared. Are you saying you're ready for a fight? Or are you saying you want in negotiation with your contract. And granted, like Eddie is playing coy to the camera. He is much smarter than me. He does this for a living. He knows what he's doing. But the main thing I took away from that is I just don't know if I think the most likely thing at this point is that Aspinall is going to fight out his contract. I'd be pretty shocked if he extends a contract. And yeah, maybe the UFC will use that as kind of a freeze out tactic. But, I agree with him not needing more pay, but I just think it is probably the worst time to be doing that a week before this event. But at the same time, like that's why Tom hired Eddie, to be the asshole, to speak for his guy so he doesn't have to do it. So, I don't think Eddie made those comments without Tom being completely fine with it, because he's pretty much been assured, hey, worst case scenario in this pipe dream, they actually let you out and I pay you a bunch. But I just want him to be able to get cleared for full contact and be able to get back in there so he can really like put these demands on the table, because I just don't know what type of leverage he has at this point. You cannot tell me it's that he's the UFC champion. Like that means very little when they can just strip him. Like they stripped Francis. Like, yes.
As Francis, right.
And yeah, granted, they can do the same like lineal shit that they say when they talk about Francis, but I just don't know what type of leverage that he's really supposed to have at this point until he at least gets a fight back in the cage.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. There's not much they can do. He'll hopefully come back. I would love to see him come back by December. I don't think we're not getting any inkling that's happening. So, but
Eddie's comments made me feel like that was far unlikely that we see him in 26.
Same. Yeah. Unfortunately. And, I've obviously pounded this desk for Tom and everything else. And I hope that's, hopefully we see him back, and hopefully fights Alex or Surreal or, for the heavyweight title. You know what I mean? Like this guy's career, it's a shame because like Tom was this rocket ship, and like now for last week, because of some situations out of his control, we haven't really seen him fight in like 3 years.
And I don't think I would put this as a very low chance of this happening, because this is probably the exact reaction Eddie Hearn wants. But there's no chance that they strip him by next Sunday, right? And just
no.
Yeah, I myself would put that pretty impossible to happen. But I almost kind of wonder if like that was Eddie's play all along. Like, hey, maybe they hate me that much that they'll actually just say fuck.
Well, they hate Eddie. Dana hates Eddie, but he doesn't.
Yeah.
Hate Tom. Like, right.
But I think Eddie is like using that like, okay, maybe they hate me this much that they're just gonna let this guy out of his contract and let him go make a bunch of money. Right. And I'm sorry, that's just very naive by Hearn. Like, they're not gonna know they don't operate like that.
Yeah, they're not. If anything, they're gonna re-up his contract so he has to fucking stay. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but if they do, we know he'll somewhat at least be getting a more kind of respectable number in the range. I don't think they're ever gonna and we all knew it was coming with him using kind of the happy for Conor Ben line against him. I mean, I thought he already said it, if I'm not mistaken, but
yeah,
we kind of got it for the formal release. But I don't know. Like you, I think it's a big nothing burger in the short term, but like long term, it does kind of pique the like Brian Windhorse meme. Like, what does this all mean?
Yeah. Speaking of contracts, maybe you told me this or I read it, that like Conor did not sign a new contract and he still only has 2 fights left, and like they are wanting to fight out the contract.
So yeah, I believe I heard that from Mike Bond, that he said that they pretty much told Conor, Um, he apparently got some assurances that he will get his last fight by the end of the year. Now, so much of that just makes me want to call bullshit because, like,
I don't think the end of the year, but I think fight out his contract, absolutely.
Well, I could see if that's being Connor's end game. With him not fighting the last 5 years, I don't see how he's going to be able to turn it around by December. That would actually be kind of impressive if he was able to keep that type of discipline, but I just don't see it. But I don't know. That is the one that I could see being more to fruition. Like, you see the ticket sales for this Max fight. That's doing very well. Does the UFC just make the decision, hey, we want to get a 2 more guarantee of those, and then we'll let him walk without having to break the bank to lock him back in? I don't find it the craziest thing in the world that they would, once getting 2 fights out of him, let him go to Netflix.
Yes, I could see that too. I'm kind of right there with you. Before we get into this week's card real quick, I wanted to mention Darren Till got his big win in BKFC, and we've mentioned this before. They got to do Darren Till versus Mike Perry in bare knuckle. That's the number 1 fight to make for that promotion.
Yeah, I mean, Till got dropped in the fight. Don't know if he got surprised, but then he got back up, and he was able to pretty much knock him down with 1 shot, and his opponent didn't get up. So good showing for Till. Obviously, that is the easiest fight as far as the choice of what to do next for BKFC. Do they get it done? I have no idea. I mean, why? What is to stop Darren Till and Mike Perry going to MVP and just getting that fight in MMA for far more?
Right. Well, I guess I don't know. I mean, Darren Till's got a 3-fight contract with BKFC, so I don't know if they would let him walk and do that fight necessarily.
Did Feldman say it was exclusive? Because most of their contracts are not.
Yeah, he said that he has a 3-fight. I don't think it's probably exclusive, but I would think there's something in there that they could not do that together. You know what I mean? Like, do it
because Feldman made the case like, hey, we helped make Mike Perry a multi-millionaire, like almost talking like Perry owes him this fight.
Yeah.
And I don't know what pipe Feldman is smoking on. Perry did all that shit himself.
Right.
Like he might have used their platform to get the foot in the door, but let's not belittle the hard work and role that Mike Perry has been on. So
yeah,
it would probably be the biggest fight in BKFC history. So you would think they'd figure out a way to get it done.
They got to get it done. That's the deal. That's the fight to me.
Yeah. Like, that should be their main event for their next Knuckle Mania. Pretty simple. But that's the one with, like, these MVP Netflix cards that you wonder, are these going to be the promotions it hurts more because, they're able to outbid and kind of get that same fight?
Yeah, but I don't think that Till wants to do MMA. And, we haven't seen MVP do bare knuckles. So, you know what I mean? Where that would be the difference.
Yeah, no, that's a great point with the grappling. And I do want to say I want Till to stick in BKFC. I see a lot of people wanting him to come back to the UFC. I do not understand the point of that at all.
Somebody in an interview, I don't like that knows Till was like he can't do MMA. His knees are just too short. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, no, that's why he's doing boxing. It's why he should continue to do boxing.
Let's move to this weekend's Apex card, Bobby. It is headlined by interesting, important welterweight matchup. Really, you have Belal Muhammad coming off a 2-fight losing streak, the former champion, taking on the surging Gabriel Bonfim. Before the 2 fights, Belal was on quite the run, obviously, and then has now lost 2 in a row. and now he's taking on Gabriel Bonfim, who has been 19-1 total. Speaking of Belal, he's also going to be wrestling in RAF against Ben Askren. So just wanted to shout out Ben Askren real quick and the remarkable stuff that he's done. But what do you make of this matchup here of Belal and Bonfim?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for it. I mean, this entire Apex card is definitely
It's a pretty good card. Yeah,
it's definitely a show good enough. They could have taken on the road easily. Not really surprised they decided not to do that and just book it. But I like this matchup a lot. Bonfim has some pretty decent wins. He's on a streak, but he hasn't really fought anyone Belal's caliber yet. So
this is a big jump. He's on a 4-fight winning streak. Bonfim is.
Yeah, and like the good win over Chaos Williams, Wonder Boy, Randy Brown. Those are all very good quality wins. But I was a little bit surprised, I guess. I mean, Bonfim is surging, so maybe that's why the line is so close. Maybe it's just victims of the moment because Belal lost 2 in a row, but he lost to 2 pretty decent guys. The one loss to JDM was 2-2 going into the 5th, so it's not like he got horribly outclassed in that fight. And
right.
Ian Gary is very good. He's about to get a title shot versus Islam. So is Bonfim ranked yet? Is he like in the 15 range?
He is. Let me I just had the rankings up here real quick. Let me pull them back up. Bonfim is 11 and Belal's 5.
Yeah, I mean, I could understand why Belal took this fight. He's trying to get back in the win streak, take out a guy that has been on his own win streak. So that all kind of makes sense. I expect Belal to try to mix up with his wrestling a little bit more with the striking, because that I think is going to be the game plan to him winning is, just him being able to kind of prolong the fight and stuff. But, this is definitely a winnable fight for Bonfim. I understand why he's just a slight underdog, but I don't know. In my mind, the line should be a little bit wider, but maybe it's just because Belal's riding that 2-fight losing streak.
Yeah, I think it's really, Belal, and then you got to think like the last one of the people he's lost to as of recent was JDM, who has not looked good his last time out. So
I get it, but at the same time, I think that's just kind of discounting how much better Carlos Prates has gotten too. But I do get it. He looked bad, so maybe that loss looks a little worse.
Yeah. I was trying to pull up the actual odds here real quick. Since you mentioned them, the odds are, Bonfim. Actually, Belal's a slight favorite at -125.
Yeah, and I don't know. Just to me, like for a former champion, someone that's done very well in the Apex, I think that's a pretty decent bet. But what do I know?
Who you liking this one? Who you picking here?
I'm gonna stick with the Bully Mafia to get back on track here. I think Belal is able to take him into deep waters and get it done.
I'm going Bonfim, baby. I'm not remembering the name. Give me Bonfim. I've probably picked against I've been doing this show in some rendition with somebody. Obviously, we've been doing this together, I think, for about 2 years now, or a year plus, or maybe 2. I don't remember. But I don't know if I've ever picked Belal Muhammad to win, and I'm sticking with it. I'm still not picking him to win.
Yeah, you picked him to win in the JDM fight, and that's the sole reason he probably lost. So I still blame you.
That's probably true. I probably did. The one time I did pick Bully. I'm glad. Thanks for correcting me. Yeah. In the co-main event, you got a surprising matchup here. I still don't understand. This is Brendan Allen a guy who, just beat RDR, is highly ranked at the top, 5 or so. And he's taking on the unranked Edmund Shabazian.
Ali is a terrible manager. But seriously, I also understand why Brendan Allen is taking this fight. He's not someone that really says no. The UFC needed to book a co-main event, and Ali knew who would take the fight and not turn it down. So
Allen's won his last 2 after losing to Imanov and Fluffy. He's bounced back and beat Vittori, and obviously knocked out DeRitter in October last year.
He has won his last 2. Edmund is on a bit of a win streak himself. Allen definitely has the better quality wins opponent-wise, for sure.
Edmund's won 4 out of his last 5. That loss, he got subbed by Gerald Mershart.
And here's the kicker now. Brendan Allen has struggled with extreme guys. And that is where Shabazian trains out of. So this is going to be a very tough fight for Brendan Allen, I think.
Yeah, I think it's like the 4th fight he's fought against somebody from Extreme. Lost to he's 1-1 against Chris Curtis, who fights out of that gym. Lost to Sean Strickland as well. So I think there's somebody else that I saw that fought out of that gym that he had gone against. So, but yeah, obviously the Sean Strickland fight it's been a while. That was November of 2020. So
bottom line, they just have prepared for him multiple times, and especially with Extreme, I just wonder if that is going to be an issue for Brendan. I mean, I'm sure he's fully aware of that as well. But because Shabazian, I believe, is a pretty heavy underdog as well. But especially when they match these guys up that have a high ranking and is fighting someone that isn't ranked.
Isn't that big of an underdog? He's plus 180.
Oh, really? Wow. Maybe money went into it. I thought he was a little wider. I think that's about right, honestly. I mean, Brendan Allen deserves to be favored, but there are definitely winnable avenues for Shabazian, and this would definitely be his best win. Not really sure what he's, going to do with it with a number 4 ranking. I mean, it's not like he's going to fight Strickland, but, then I don't know that there are definitely some stakes on this one, because Brendan Allen, I think he's going to feel the pressure to show out, and if you're taking a fight this highly ranked, and he's definitely had success lately, so I don't really want to discount that. I just know the issues he's kind of had when he's fought those Extreme guys, so I just wonder if that'll carry over or not.
Right? Yeah, it's a guy they obviously watched a lot of tape on and know. So. You've kind of hit the nail there, but I'm still taking Brendan Allen to win this fight. But I think I wouldn't be surprised if Edmund makes it tough on him.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty decent fight. It's a worthy co-main event. It's just at the time it was booked, it really threw me off because Allen was coming off a very good win that he took on short notice.
Yeah, his best win ranking wise, right? His best win ranking wise. And Allen's 4, you know what I mean? So you just got to wonder kind of maybe what's next. If he wins this, him and Kyle would probably be the best. That would probably make the most sense.
Brendan Allen versus Kyle.
Yeah. 4 and 4 well, this says 4 and 4, but I think Brendan Allen's 5, I guess, but 4 and 5. Yeah, that would make the most sense if Brendan Allen wins this.
Yeah, I guess you're probably right. No pushback on that. I don't know if Kyle would want to take it, but
why not? What's he doing?
He's trying to fight Sean Strickland.
Well, Sean's going to fight Imanov, and then Allegedly, we got DDP versus Kamaru Usman, and then you would have
I gotta
who
say,
knows?
since you brought it up, I don't think they're gonna book him against Amanov. I think they're gonna fuck him again and do the Chimaev rematch.
Oh gosh, I hope not. Maybe so. Who knows? Amanov, then fucking Brandon Allen versus Imanov if he wins. Fuck it. What's Amanov doing?
Give it to me. Yeah. No, he definitely needs a fight. So I agree.
Yeah. All right. Well, this card also, we won't pick the rest of the card, but some big names like we mentioned, Bryce Mitchell back on this is back at fighting at bantamweight again. Versus Santango Luna, who's 8-0. This obviously Mitchell's a heavy favorite here as well. You got your favorite fighter, Junior Taffa.
Yeah, Luna's taking it on extremely short notice, I think.
Oh yeah, like a week's notice. Yeah, you're right. You got Matt Schnell versus Alexandro Costa. You got Marcus McGee making his return versus John Giannis. That's another matchmaking I don't understand. McGee, who just fought Peter Yan, who's the champion and lost, but looked like he belonged. I mean, McGee's not ranked, and then you just put him here. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, I get it, but at the same time, I don't mind it because, especially after
that's the Kai Asakura fight right there. Him and McGee.
Yeah, that'd be a fun one. I don't know. It's still my favorite Marcus, even though he's older. But Marcus McGee's on it. That should be fun. Jordan Levitt also on the card. Pretty decent card. That Faraz Ziam, Tom Nolan. That very well could be the fight of the night on that card. That would not shock me at all. So it's pretty decent Apex scraps.
It's a solid card.
Yeah, I ain't mad at it. It's going to be a perfect appetizer before the Ryzen flyweight title fight, which will be on the nighttime version of that. So good lineup of fights. It'll take us into the White House, which no one's been talking about, and it's been going, all quiet. I'm kidding, obviously, but yeah.
Yeah. Bob, you got anything else before we get out of here?
No, I think that covered it. Basically, if you need more MMA outside the Apex, watch Ryzen on Saturday night. So it's worth the $20, or just spring for the pass. It's $17.99. Promise you the best money you'll spend.
Right on. Yeah, Spurs up 6 right now with 5 to go in the third.
Yeah, Knicks just went on a 7-0 run. They called timeout.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it, folks. We'll be back next Wednesday. We'll break down. We'll talk a little bit of these cards. And honestly, we'll have full White House card preview, UFC Freedom 250, and everything that comes with that. So, say what you want, but the card's pretty decent. You know what I mean? I mean, there's some matchups that probably should have went this and that, but we'll talk about that later. Other than that,
I noticed Sean Strickland's video didn't make the news in the notes.
I told you, Sean Strickland babyface run, baby. Sean Strickland is on a babyface run. All right. Yeah. Be a friend, tell a friend, folks. Like, subscribe, share. We'll see you next week, 8 o'clock Central, 9 Eastern. For my guy, Bobby Bloods, I'm Bodkins. We'll catch you next week, baby. Enjoy the fights.
Thanks so much for joining us, and until next time, let's talk sport, friends. Thanks for watching.